is Valley News Live at 4.
I never imagined that I'd be standing here. The roles should completely be reversed. My son should be burying me.
That's the mother of Dante Wright, the 20-year-old black man who was killed in a Minneapolis suburb by a police officer who mistook her gun for a taser. His funeral was held in North Minneapolis today. Michael George reports.
An artist rendered an image of Dante Wright at the 20-year-old's funeral. Mourners called for justice.
Dante Wright, life mattered.
The young father was killed during a traffic stop in the suburb of Brooklyn Center earlier this month. Veteran police officer Kim Potter, who resigned, is charged with second-degree manslaughter. The police chief, who also resigned, said it appeared she confused her taser with her handgun.
Train people. Don't confuse guns from tasers.
Wright's parents remembered him as a former high school athlete who loved his family.
He always said he couldn't wait to make his son proud.
Wright's funeral comes just 2 days after Minneapolis watched the conviction of former officer Chauvin for the murder of George Floyd. Many of Floyd's family members came here to the funeral to show support for the Wright family.
They have become the comforters and counselors, along with our legal team, for the family of Dante Wright.
For many in the Minneapolis area, this week has been an emotional roller coaster.
I think emotions are all over the place. I think, we celebrated a victory with the George Floyd, with the Chauvin trial convictions, but then people are still, mourning the death of this young man.
Minnesota Senator Amy Klobuchar and Governor Tim Walz were among hundreds who attended the service. Michael George, CBS News, Minneapolis.
Reverend Al Sharpton referred to Wright as the Prince of Brooklyn Center after hearing a man say he hadn't seen a big funeral procession in Minneapolis since the singer Prince died. An alternate juror in the Chauvin trial is speaking out, saying she also believed the former police officer was guilty. As an alternate, she didn't have a role in the verdict, but she did sit through every minute of the trial as prosecutors and the defense each made their case. Lisa Christensen discussed how the trial affected her on CBS This Morning.
Do you feel like that's going to impact you for a while?
I do. So.
In what way?
Well, I just don't understand how it got from a counterfeit $20 bill to a death. It kind of shocks me.
And Lisa lives in Brooklyn Center, the city where Dante Wright was shot by that officer nearly 2 weeks ago. Now here's Hutch with a first look at your forecast. Hutch?
Stacy, thanks so much, as we are enjoying some spring-like weather for a change, but we better get out and enjoy it because there's even more changes coming. But let's take a look at some heavy traffic as we look out to the east across greater Minnesota and beautiful Moorhead. A little bit of sunshine out there and it's really going to work. Bemidji, 61 gorgeous degrees. The heat is building in the Northern Valley where we have some mid-60s from Grand Forks straight through Hallock, and 64 in Langdon. Jamestown, Oaks, all in the low 60s. We do have, as forecast, some clouds building down near the South Dakota border. These showers pushing up towards Mobridge and the Lake Oahe area now will be impacting our southern counties as we get into the late evening hours. But that's not the change we're really worried about. What's coming at us from the north is a cold front. Right now, breezy conditions. The evening, beautiful. Get out and enjoy while you can, because by morning, some of us will have some flakes in the area. Tonight, be careful with sparks. We have dry vegetation, the wind out there causing a very high danger of fire. Red flag warning in effect. We'll have details in your forecast and all those changes coming up, Stacy, here in just a few minutes. But again, enjoy while you can.
Yeah, it's way too easy to get used to this.
It is.
All right, thanks so much. New developments this afternoon surrounding two controversial bills in the North Dakota legislature. Even though Governor Burgum vetoed the bill that would prevent him from implementing mask mandates last night, the House of Representatives had other plans. They voted this afternoon to overturn that veto. The bill is now headed to the Senate, where it needs 2/3 of the chamber to vote for it. Then it'll become law, bypassing the governor's desk entirely. The House also voted to overturn the veto on a bill restricting transgender athletes. Last night, Governor Burgum said the bill would lead to unforeseen consequences for the state. It's headed back to the Senate too, but it faces a big challenge. The bill has passed through the chamber twice, but has never received that 2/3 majority vote. In fact, it lost the support of 5 senators last time around. This afternoon in Bemidji, a man is in the hospital after a bizarre traffic stop. Officers stopped a car for speeding last night near the 300 block of Minnesota Avenue. The driver said they witnessed a stabbing and their passenger was the victim. Meanwhile, officers found another man a few blocks away who claimed he was also assaulted and robbed. He admitted to stabbing that passenger. New information on COVID vaccine distribution in Clay County. Health officials say they've requested fewer doses due to a lack of demand. They're only giving out about 600 doses this week compared to 1,000 last week. The county says misinformation about the vaccine is keeping people from receiving it.
There is a lot of information out there that maybe isn't accurate, or there's a lot of conspiracy theories. So we want to make sure that we get the accurate information out.
In Clay County, about 38% of adults have received 1 dose of the vaccine, with less than 1/3 of people having completed the series. Older adults are seeing higher vaccination rates. Nearly 3 out of 4 people ages 65 and older have gotten their first dose. COVID cases, meanwhile, are on the rise in Clay County, which health officials attribute to young adults. The state of Minnesota has come up with a new way to bring the vaccine to you. Mobile vaccination buses are hitting the road this week. They'll distribute the shots to vulnerable and underserved communities. Each of these 6 mobile clinics can vaccinate up to 150 people per day. Clay County health officials tell us they've already requested a bus to stop by. We'll be sure to let you know when it's in town. More research suggests that breakthrough infections after vaccinations are rare. Rockefeller University looked at 417 fully vaccinated people. All had received either the Pfizer or Moderna vaccines. Only 2 people, or 0.5%, ended up testing positive and developed symptoms at least 2 weeks after they received their second dose. Both women developed mild cases and recovered quickly. Viral sequencing revealed they had been infected with variants. CDC Director Rochelle Walensky says she's hopeful the Johnson & Johnson vaccine will be back soon. She says the advisory panel will look at data on new blood clot cases as well as the risk and benefit analysis of that vaccine. Walensky says she's feeling an urgency to make a decision.
They will see data on the new cases that may have come in since the 6 cases that were initially reported. They're also going to review data that we will be providing them on the risk and benefit analysis, the benefits of having a J&J vaccine versus the very, very rare events that we have detected.
The FDA advisory panel will meet for 6 hours tomorrow from 11 to 5. A reminder, if you're looking for a place to get the vaccine, use our VNL vaccine tracker. It's on the homepage of our website, or you can open your phone camera and point it at the QR code on your screen, then tap the link that pops up. President Joe Biden tells world leaders we're running out of time to address climate change. The president kicking off a 2-day virtual leaders summit on climate from the White House today. The goal is getting global leaders to dig deeper on cutting greenhouse gas emissions, with the president laying out a plan to decrease emissions at home while increasing jobs.
Meeting this moment is about more than preserving our planet. It's also about providing a better future for all of us. That's why when people talk about climate, I think jobs. Within our climate response lies an extraordinary engine of job creation and economic opportunity, ready to be fired up.
Now, China, on the other hand, says they'll begin cutting emissions in 2030, hoping to reach full carbon neutrality by 2060. We have new information to bring you on the mass shooting at a grocery store in Colorado. It happened 1 month ago today. The suspect now has 43 additional charges against him, including using banned high-capacity magazines. He's charged with 10 counts of first-degree murder, 33 counts of attempted first-degree murder, 1 count of first-degree assault, and 10 counts of using a prohibited large-capacity magazine during a crime. The mass shooting at a King Soopers brought a legion of law enforcement to the scene and left a Boulder police officer among the 10 people killed. There's still no word on the motive behind that shooting. It's Earth Day, and here in Fargo, the city is asking for your help keeping the community clean. There are 24 blue bin drop boxes across Fargo to place used newspapers, cardboard, and plastic bottles. Each are converted into items for reuse. Glass and aluminum are melted into new bottles, while recycled newspapers are turned into pencils. Recycling is easy. You just need to take a second to put the items into the appropriate blue bins. The city says you're never too young to learn how to recycle.
Starting with the younger generations is great because they, are absorbing a lot of information at a young age. And a lot of times that comes home and then, they might start asking their parents, why don't we recycle, Mom? And then Mom might not have an answer. And then that would be a great excuse to start recycling.
Fargo Recycling collects about 5,000 tons of recyclables every year. That's nearly 5 times as much as they collected 5 years ago. Valley News Live is teaming up with Golden Drive to help homeless children in Fargo and West Fargo, and we need your help. You still have 2 days to drop off non-perishable food items at the West Fargo Fire Department. We'll be packaging them up on Saturday. The donations will be given to area schools and shelters.
I'm just a grandma that likes to play video games.
In minutes, the story of this viral gamer grandma and what she's doing with her newfound fame.
Beautiful weather on this Earth Day as we celebrate some spring-like temperatures across the valley. Here's a list of a few things you can do: reduce, reuse, recycle. We'll have details on some chillier weather returning to the valley. Join me, Valley News Live, and your hour-by-hour forecast continues.